This is not a video telling you which camera you ought to buy. Instead, this is a video about what kind of camera worked best for me. Okay, so I'm on a run, and I am thinking about filming a short film, a simple, small short film, where I can judge, for better or worse, two cameras against each other. Now, I've filmed consistently with the Blackmagic cameras for probably the past 4 or 5 years, and I love them. I've always had it in my head that I would love to have a RED camera, and with the Komodo being such a relatively inexpensive camera. Oh, sidebar, we actually almost won a RED camera in we were part of this MOGA competition. This company called MOGA had a competition, and we got second place in our entry, and it was like a Red Raven or Red Scarlet. I think it was probably Red Scarlet that they were giving away. And I thought at the time, oh, I needed that Scarlet to make movies. And of course, since then, we've made tons of stuff without having a Red. But I'm at a point in my career where I was like, I can afford this, and I got it. And here we have two cameras, the Blackmagic 6K versus the RED Komodo, so to speak. And what we did is I came up with this idea from my run of a guy who gets a mysterious phone call, and maybe it's his dead ex-wife or girlfriend, and he follows the clues, and it leads to something weird. And so that's what we made. And for each of these shots, I thought, how awesome would it be if we set up the Komodo, and then with the exact same filtration, the exact same lens, we put the 6K in its same spot. Are these cameras really that different? That's what we set out to figure out. So that's what we did. So I went out, and my youngest son helped me film. So did my confidant, Lucas, and his son. And we, for the first scene, did 1-for-1 setups where we had the same setup. I would shoot a scene with the RED Komodo, and then I would take that same lens and matte box and filtration off, put the Blackmagic 6K in its place, and then film it again. And then that way I was able to do a 1-for-1 comparison. And I thought, this is great, but it's the middle of winter, it's 20-something degrees, we are all freezing, and basically abandoned that idea by the second scene, because it was just so much work setting up the camera and doing the repeated shots, especially after I felt like we had it in the can after shooting with the RED. And that was part of the experiment too, is like, what is this camera like to film with in the real world? You know, there are pros and cons to each. I wanted to see how the image felt though. And like a lot of times I'll watch these videos that are comparing cameras or comparing lenses, and they'll have a model or whatever, and then they'll say, this is camera 1, this is camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2, and I can never tell a difference.
Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2. Camera 1, camera 2.
That's just not helpful for me. I feel like I just needed to actually shoot with it and edit with it. And that actually was different for me for the first time. Being like, oh, I'm gonna put this image up in the same scene, I'm gonna put this other image up, shot with the other camera, and then I could tell a difference. And there was just something like filmic about the sort of quality that the RED, that I was getting out of the RED almost right out of the box, that I hadn't seen before. Just like texture or some kind of, the way it made me feel was like, I love this. And some technical stuff was like the magenta shift, the IR pollution, I think, on the Blackmagic was clearly way worse. Like the actor's jacket was black, and using, again, same lens, same filtration. In the Blackmagic shots, he looked purple, like really toward magenta, where the Komodo kept the colors exactly right, and skin tones as well, of course. But like while we were in a frenzy shooting, you know, we had some moments where it was like, oh, there's a train passing right here. If I turn the Komodo on, it's gonna take, what, 30, I don't know, however long it takes to turn on. And how cool would it be if we could like tilt down from the train passing to our actor running. And so I grabbed the 6K and turned it on and then said, go, 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 while the train was there. And he was awesome. The actor was awesome. He just like did it. And we used that in the final edit. And it integrates really well. I can kind of tell where the Blackmagic shots are and where the Komodo shots are. There's one shot where I played the role of like the creepy guy with the gas mask. And so Lucas was filming that. And I wanted there to be a shot where I was there and I wasn't there. And so that, required panning back and forth by Lucas. And there was significant rolling shutter from the 6K camera. I should just say that like we also shoot with the Pocket 4K, and that honestly, you guys, is probably my favorite camera to just generally shoot on. Like I can take it on vacation, I can do doc stuff, film stuff. It's just such a versatile camera. The rolling shutter isn't that bad. The dynamic range is really good. It's super inexpensive for cameras especially. You can adapt any lens to the Micro Four Thirds system. Has all these benefits. And anyway, I just love that camera. I'm actually filming with that right now. But the Komodo definitely has its place, and at least for us. And like, never let the kind of camera you have slow you down from making a movie. Man, what a dumb thing to wait for. That's what it boils down to. It's all about finding a system that works for you. And the cool thing for me, it's a luxury to shoot on a Red. Like I can't believe I get to like see that little cube and turn it on. But at the end of the day, like what I like about it the most is like knowing how good the image is gonna be. And I'm not gonna have to wrestle with it to get it there too much. I'm not a super awesome colorist. And so there's just so many things I like about it. I think the slow-mo is adequate. It's good enough for most shoots, surprisingly, and you can crop in a little bit in the sensor and get even faster slow-mo. So overall, at the end of the day, which camera fared better? Well, the Komodo did, and that is just my biased opinion. Where we danced was just a small shoot where I could tell a small, concise story, see how it acted in After Effects, doing some visual effects in Blender, and using the Red footage, which I've done a ton of shots over the years with the Blackmagic cameras. How is it like working with Red footage in that same space? I think what I learned from this shoot is that I never want to, again, have a setup where I have two cameras filming the same thing to try and find out which one's better. Life is too short. Go out there and make stuff with what you have.